From newstalkzb.co.nz.
It's Mike Hosking.
Good morning, Mike.
Lovely to see. I'm very well indeed. See, as far as tours go, Singapore, Dubai and London, they seem relatively far apart.
That's a curly one, isn't it?
They're quite long trips, aren't they?
Yeah. We thought we'd do two hemispheres in a big hurry. Yeah.
and so how did that all come about?
Oh, we just put the feelers out there. I probably don't travel well on those big long hauls flights, and turning around 12 hours is a pain. It's a pain. You take a few days to recover before you can do anything. So because I took a band, in fact I took two bands, we just thought it'd be good to do a couple of gigs on the way up, and the Hard Rock Cafe in Singapore, we sold that out, and then we played a rooftop party in Dubai, which is a very strange place.
That's a wacky place.
I've been there a couple of times. Yeah, the expats call it the sand pit, and it's sort of Las Vegas for Arabs, really.
Yeah. Do you like it?
The world's tallest building.
Exactly.
I went up there.
Did you? Is it worth it?
It's worth a look. Yeah, but it's very strange. I mean, everything seems like like when you go to Las Vegas and you're sort of wandering along, and sure, there's the pyramids, but behind there's little pieces of wood holding it all up.
Yeah, exactly.
But although Dubai is a very strange place. And
London, of course, you think that's the quintessential expat market, isn't it?
It is really, yeah. And I got a soft spot for the place. I feel quite at home there. And I've got a lot of good friends there, so it was great to catch up with them. But the Shepherd's Bush Empire, which is a lovely theatre, a bit like the St James or the Civic, or in Wellington the St James, a bit like that. But it's tiered, like good old-fashioned theatre, and it sounds wonderful, and the sightlines are wonderful, and the crowd, the audience were just fantastic, and a lot of them left Facebook comments and stuff, and then I met you did a meet and greet, as they call it, afterwards, and I met a lot of people, and there was one in particular that really touched me, and that was a chap whose father-in-law had died in Christchurch. There was some very solemn moments in every gig regarding Christchurch, Pike River, and of course the World Cup to sort of balance it, to keep it in some kind of balance. But this particular chap, his father-in-law died, and because of visa issues, they both couldn't come back to the funeral, which struck me as agonisingly, sad. Yeah. And but generally speaking, people are extremely homesick, but in a very positive way. Yeah. And you compare it to when I would have done an OE, which is last century. Just the instant communication with home is,
exactly.
It's just there. There's texting and Skype and all that sort of stuff.
But it's important to remember that.
Away.
Exactly. It's important to remember that, I think, too, isn't it? Because we talk a lot about, how this country's no good and people leave it for the better. I mean, what happens in reality is they go out and they discover the world, and they've got skills, and they get a job, and all that sort of stuff, and that's fantastic. They have the time of their... But they do want to come home, and they do miss the place, and the reason they miss the place is because it's good. Oh, it's not like they're sitting in London going, oh, God, I'm glad I'm here, and not at that dump on the other side of the world back in New Zealand.
No, I kiss the ground every time I come back. This time we flew in and we followed the north coast all the way down, past Kaipara Harbour and then all that way down, and it just, I kind of shed a tear each time, really. I'm one of those guys that's homesick even when I'm home,
So you're also touring over some, and this is, I mean, how quintessentially New Zealand music is a tour of beach pubs and beach towns.
In the summer it's a real hoot, and people are at their most relaxed, and they've had enough of the year, and well, this year in particular it's been a real tough one, so they deserve to let their hair down and not to look too sartorially elegant.
Yeah, exactly. And how many of these have you done? I mean, do you get sick of it?
I've lost count.
Exactly, but you still do it because you love it, presumably.
I totally love it, yeah. People just rise to the occasion. You kind of lift people up, and they lift you up. It's all wrapped around the music, of course, but I just get such a kick out of it, and I get such a kick out of meeting the audience too. It gets a bit dicey when somebody's half cut and they're trying to jump the queue.
or sing your songs.
All that stuff now, so I...
Exactly, but you're on the road with Midnight Youth, who I rate. I genuinely rate them as a slick together.
They're a slick rock band. Yeah. Which is good, and it's a rock tour, really, and we've got the Dukes as well, and they rock. They did a gig of their own because they were supporting me Singapore, Dubai, London, and they played London, and they went down really well. Not a lot of people knew them, but they sold a truckload of CDs on the way out. And,
Good.
That's
the difference.
You're signing CDs for an hour and a half afterwards.
Well, that's awesome. That's the difference, though, between you and them, though, isn't it? What they're doing is performing to say, "Look at me. Here's what I've got. Here's where I'm at. This is what I sound like." You, the reputation's already arrived in town. You just sing the classics and keep them happy. I mean, God, what a good life you've got, eh?
Well, it's pretty good in New Zealand, yes. But I still do play to cold audiences that wouldn't know anything. If I get a chance to do that, that's great. But I mean, I have been a bit slack. I mean, there's a whole brown continent to our left.
Yes.
The West Island, Australia, full of New Zealanders who I don't go and play to.
You should really.
I know. Well, that's going to be part of my focus next year, is to get over there and satisfy that.
Good. What about the album? I mean, has it been? How long's it been since your last album?
Oh, it's a couple of years now.
Exactly.
3 or 4.
I was trying to say
they go like that.
Do they?
And I've got teenage kids as well, so it sort of it's taken a long time to sort of gestate, I suppose. But meanwhile, I've been pimping my studio, and some people pimp cars. I pimp my studio. I'm hopeless, when it comes to gadgets and technology.
New stuff, lots of new stuff.
Yeah, and just getting I mean, you want to make a great sound, and you want it to be just really good. And you want clear performances and really great sounding stuff. And so I've done a lot of homework. I've taught myself to be an engineer and to produce and all that. So to be able to practice that. And I can see myself, with my son's 16 now, my daughter's 18 now, and they've all got bands. And
seriously?
Bands coming out your ears. Yeah,
so fantastic.
I love the sound of a new band rehearsing. And I love the sound of people getting together and, playing guitar and playing instruments instead of hanging out in the mall. So I think that's where my future lies, is actually developing a few acts and...
Brilliant.
Doing that kind of stuff. You get to that age where you really want to do that. I mean, it won't detract from what I've got to do for myself musically anyway, and it'll keep me busy on the board, as it were.
Good on you.
Keep my ears busy. From here to kingdom come, love has got you on the run. From here to kingdom come,